Now we are recording. Wow. If I would have seen that red dot in the beginning, we would have been fine.
It's all
All
good.
right, let's start the music again.
Candy cake, real talk.
What's up, everybody? Heidi, long time no see.
What's up, Kenny? It's good to
Ra-
be here today with you, man.
Hey, happy to have you here. Raider Nation, we got a special guest. We've got Heidi Fang from Las Vegas Review Journal. You can hear her on Raider Nation Radio every morning, and she's on the Vegas Nation pod right here with Blue Wire. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you go and subscribe, leave a 5-star review, leave a review. That's how we find out if you guys really like us. So we'll leave that here. But Heidi, thank you for joining me. I miss talking to you on Thursday mornings, so I figured I'd bring you on my pod. What's up?
I'm happy to be here with you. I'm glad that you did reach out to me. This is really always fun for me to get to talk with you and do it too for Blue Wire. Let's go.
Yeah. Blue Wire's out there doing big things right now. I saw they have the summer league going on right now. Everybody's out in Vegas. It's getting crazy out there. Have you been able to step by the studio at all?
Oh yeah, I've been to Summer League now 3 times this week. I got to go see Banchero play. I watched a couple of the Vegas guys play. We had a feature done on like Orlando Robinson. So yeah,
Nice.
it's been a lot of fun in the city right about now, but not as fun as it will become into July here.
Yeah, end of July, you got football starting. You got training camp coming on. You got the Raiders starting the preseason, going into the Hall of Fame game. Cliff Branch is getting into the Hall of Fame, obviously. Finally, way too late, but that's a story for another podcast. Today, we're going to talk about the Raiders' recent news. And last Thursday, it was announced that Sandra Douglass Morgan is the new president for the Raiders. This is a big monumental hire, and I'll let you talk about why it's such a monumental hire, Heidi.
She's the first Black woman in history to be a president, to hold that position, not just for any team, but in the NFL. It's just really remarkable. I think what she's able to do groundbreaking wise for us ladies out there, and as well as women of color. And just to put that on the map, it, I think opens a lot of doors for a lot of people. And when you talk about trying to have somebody that you can look up to, like when I was growing up, it was Pam Oliver, it was Rennell
Yeah.
out on the games with the Raiders and stuff like that. There were people in positions that you could look up to that, hey, she looks like me, or maybe she talks like me, or maybe she dresses like me, or just some kind of thing people like to be able to have to kind of understand and look at other people and say, I could do that too. And I think that's part of what's so great about it. But obviously, it's great to finally, I think, have somebody in that position for the Raiders that is going to bring back a lot of the foundation and give the Raiders some solid footing. Someone who's no nonsense and all business, and she got her stuff together from, the accolades and the resume that she has is just incredible, impeccable.
Yeah, when we look at that resume, we look at what she's done in her past. Head of Nevada Gaming Control Board, head of Nevada State Athletic Commission, the defense attorney. She was a litigation attorney. She was on the COVID task force. The list goes on and on and on and on
Right.
and on. And we talk about qualifications for a job, and a lot of people will say, "Well, is she qualified?" Yeah, she's probably overqualified, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she's coming in and stepping into a role of the president with one of the most recognized fan bases, one of the most recognized franchises in all of sports, not just in the NFL, not just in American sports, but all of sports in the world. That's huge.
So huge. And when you talk about what it means, to the Raiders, I think that they for so long needed to kind of bring back that culture, the feeling of what the commitment to excellence means. It hasn't really been lost, but
Mhm.
I don't think that it's been felt as strongly lately as it is right now with the new regime in place, with her there, with the people starting to be solidified in their positions and starting to see that and how it's firing up the team itself. And when you go out and talk to all the different guys that are part of the team and you hear from them, and just like Max being out there on the day she was introduced and talking about how excited they are to have a new member of the family out there. And those words to me, like she even said it in the opening of her statement as being introduced, like to me, this is an honor and it's great to be part of this family. And that to me told me already that she understood what it meant to be part of Raider Nation.
Absolutely. Raider Nation is family. We may fight within each other. We may cuss each other out. At the end of the day, we all love each other, most of us. But we talk about the culture of the Raiders and the culture of diversity. And one of the things that's always stood out to me was Al Davis and what Al Davis brought to the franchise. And it was Al wasn't making moves to make moves to, say, I have to do this diverse hire. It was, they don't call it an Al Davis rule. It's called the Rooney rule. But there's a reason that Al Davis did things. It wasn't because he wanted to do the politically correct thing, because if anybody knows Al was everything short of politically correct. Al was all about doing the right thing and doing what was right for not only him, for the team, for the person, but for everybody. And having, the first Latino head coach with Tom Flores, having the first Mexican quarterback to win a Super Bowl in Jim Plunkett, drafting the first Black quarterback in the first round, having Amy Trask, bringing in Sandra Morgan. There's all these things that he's done, even having the first openly gay player in the National Football League to be on an active roster and out there playing with Carl Nassib, and the support that not only Mark Davis, but the support that the Raiders gave Carl. And those things really stand out to me, and it's not about, and that was obviously with Mark, but that tells me that Mark is not, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What have you seen? What have you seen in your interactions with Mark and with the Raider organization that kind of speak to that diversity?
Yeah, I mean, definitely you see like when you have a guy come out like Carl Nassib and how much embraced he was by everybody. There wasn't anybody that, and if they were, you certainly didn't hear it within those walls of the Raiders organization, that were like upset by that or were acting, contrarian, like, oh no, that's not okay or whatever. Which in this day and age, I still don't understand when people say that it isn't, all right. And there's so many people that in that team that bring out awareness for so many different things, from Darren Waller to Max Crosby to Kenyon Drake to the former captain Alec Ingold that was a part of the team last year, that do so many things out in the community and that help others. And what Solomon Thomas, like last year, had with his defensive line program, you see so many of these guys reaching out and trying to be a part of other people's lives to help them learn they're not alone and to embrace them. And that to me is what it's all about, is like giving back, understanding. And so you feel that is all part of what it means to be diverse, because every single person has a different cause and a different walk of life and a different thing that they have been supporting or representing for different reasons. And when you hear about them and they're brought to the forefront, and the Raiders certainly embrace that as well as the community, then you're seeing, okay, this is what it really means to be accepted within a group, and to have all your teammates and the support that they bring along with those causes. Like, I just think about that, because when people say, diversity, sometimes it's not just necessarily about what your outward appearance might be or what, sex you are, whether male, female. It's about understanding and embracing everybody's differences that make who they are. And so that, I think, is a lot of it. And you see that within the Raiders walls and at the headquarters, how much everybody does embrace the differences and the walks of life that everyone in that organization came from, that makes them who they are today.
So wait, so you're telling me that diversity is not an old wooden ship used in Civil War times?
Yeah, I know, right? No, I mean, it's great though that the Raiders are at the forefront of the NFL in terms of bringing all of this to light, like for so many people. Yeah,
absolutely. I look at my friend Megan Reyes, who created the More Diverse Voices t-shirt last year, and how it just basically swept through the nation in sports. I mean, you saw it at FC Gotham games. You saw it, Joy Taylor was wearing it. I mean, it was everywhere. And from there, you've seen a positive change. You've seen a positive upswing. You have Mark buying the Aces. If you look at an Aces game, you've got Darren Waller sitting there courtside. You've got Foster Moreau sitting there courtside. These guys are getting involved. And, I talked to my buddy he's a girls basketball coach. And we talk about, the changes that are being made. I've got a daughter, and I want her to look at these opportunities. I want her to look at Sandra Douglass Morgan and say, oh, I could be the president of a professional football team someday. Or I could be, I could potentially be the chairman of a board, or I could be, I could be the commissioner of the league. Yeah. And, we look at the women around the league. We look at there's so many. And what is that doing for women in sports? What do you as a woman see, for that growth?
I love that you just said that, what you just did there leading into that question, because now it made me think that I should go and get my things in line to become the commissioner of the league.
I bet you'd be better than Roger.
I think it's something I could do. That's the thing, is like you set your sights on something that you want to do and figure out how to accomplish it, right? And so I don't ever think that in my growing up or anything that I ever thought like, wow, I could be the president of an NFL team, because it didn't seem as though that opportunity was there for women or even women of color. And so when you now see that there is somebody there, like you said, the hope is that you can look up to that and say, there's somebody doing it. It's possible. It's a tangible dream. And that's something that sometimes you think of the things and the goals that you set for yourself. And a lot of us sometimes don't maybe realize how much we might limit ourselves because we don't see somebody like us there. But in the same vein of that, like, it takes somebody who is going to be ready for the criticisms, for the accolades, build up the resume, to have all of those things and say, I can do this job. You just put me in. I'm ready to go. And I think that's what you see out of somebody with Sandra Douglass Morgan, especially in the confidence that she has, the way that she carries herself, her presence. I mean, she's got it all. And I think for that role and what the Raiders needed right now to be able to kind of settle some of the things that we've been hearing about the organization and the turnover that people have seen, I just feel like that, I mean, despite her color, despite her sex, that she is the right person at the right time to take this job for so many different reasons. And it's just, when you look over everything that she's accomplished, like something that stood out to me that Mark Davis said was that nobody smiles at the Nevada Gaming Control Board chairperson when they walk through a casino, and they said everybody would gravitate towards her. And that's how I felt too at the introduction. Is like, she's just somebody you can gravitate towards, and you really feel like has that infectious type personality that is going to answer your questions. And so I could see where everybody that maybe might have interviewed her or crossed paths with her, or that thought she could be a good fit for that role, and why they decided that, just because of so many different factors that she has, and she's the package.
Yeah, her intro interview is one of the better ones that I've seen. She came in, like you said, she talked about being family. She just, talked about what it meant to break down barriers, how she doesn't want it to be any more first. And I think that as a minority, we look at that and say, it'd be great to say, oh, there's no more first. Like, we don't have to worry about, the first this, the first that, the first that. Like, it'd be nice to just say, she's this. This is what it is. This is what he is. This is what they're doing. And so that's something that really stands out to me. Now, before we get deeper into the pod, I want to play this clip for you that I found. So, me, I like to kind of go back and forth with people. I like to have a little fun. I like to prove people wrong. Probably Aquarius of me. But I found this clip from a podcast from a guy that posted it on TikTok. Okay. The podcast is on the Caius. Guy's been a Raider fan for his whole life, he says. So he's been with players, hung out. He used to have club seats in Oakland. He's been around for a long time. And so he seems to know a lot about the Raiders. This is what he had to say.
Tell me what woman plays in the NFL. There's no woman that plays in the NFL. So shouldn't that position come with some experience? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not really feeling good about this, and I know I'm probably gonna be judged as a sexist and all that shit. But I'll tell you like this: I got daughters, and we're very high on respect. My daughters carry themselves with respect, and I've taught them to have respect. And I told them that no man should ever disrespect you. So I'm not disrespecting this woman when I say what I say. But at the end of the day, it's like, when are women gonna be like, you know what? This ain't right. But then I know there are other women that are like, yeah, do that. You go girl, go. Ridiculous. Might be my last year being a Raider fan.
Go, girl. Go.
You go, girl. Go.
Look.
I am one of those.
I mean, look, I look at it like this. First and foremost, before I let you give your thoughts on it, if he's been a Raider fan for so long, has he not heard of Amy Trask? I mean, look, I got Amy's book right here. Like,
there you go.
Does
negotiate like a girl.
Negotiate like a girl. Does he not know about Kelsey Martinez, who was the first female trainer on the Raiders? I don't think she ever played, but there's a lot more that we'll get into later. But what are your thoughts on this?
I said, first of all, don't make me go criticizing a guy with a Cholo Calles tattoo across his chest. He's a come find me. But okay. Secondly, I think that if you have young daughters, you do want to tell them you go girl, and you do want to say to them that this is what now the norm can be. And you don't have to have football experience anyway to be a president. The president should be somebody who can handle the budget, handle the HR team, take care of things within the office and the infrastructure and what is coming for the team, looking into the future for what the team could do, like with Mark Bedane and how he brought the Raiders from the Alameda headquarters into the Las Vegas headquarters and helped to structure everything and align things with the business of the stadium, taking care of all of the things and contracts that need to be handled within the team. I mean, those are things I believe that are all presidential duties, community, handling things with Mark Davis. I don't hear anywhere in there where she has to, put her hand in the dirt and do a 3-point stance and go charging at anybody. So it's like, unless she wants to, but if Sandra Douglass Morgan wants to go out and charge somebody on the D line, I'm all for it. Go ahead. But it's, I don't think that it requires or necessitates football experience to do the job.
Well, even though it doesn't require or necessitate football experience, she was on the Nevada State Athletic Commission, which, if I'm not mistaken, they deal in sports, right?
All the time. So like I've been to a lot of those commission meetings for like the last 10 years here in Nevada, and they're dealing with boxers, they're dealing with UFC athletes, anybody else with basketball related, handling requests and things like that, and so they've had their interactions and things with athletes, and even go to and attend, as is required by some of them, to the games and overseeing what happens in case something comes to light that they need to address. So more than qualified. And it's just, I think, antiquated thinking for anyone to be like, one, what are women to be like, and two, like, oh, you have to have football experience to work in a high position in the NFL. Not true. So
not at all.
Yeah, those are things to me that I think I put up this YouTube video right after the introduction of the presser, and that was a lot of the commentary, and that's disheartening to see. And I always take YouTube comments like, well, yeah, it's YouTube. It's anyone can say what they want, but at the same time, you want to hope and think that we've advanced more as a society than to continue to say, oh, a woman can't, and then ... whatever the fill in the blank might be.
Right. We look at the quote unquote women can't, and we take off that T, right? Because women can't. We've seen Katie Sowers coaching the Super Bowl. We've seen Lori Locust win a Super Bowl as a coach. We saw Sarah Thomas officiate a Super Bowl as a woman. And obviously she's going to continue to be a woman, but you know what I mean here.
Yeah.
but it's growing. You know, we recently Condoleezza Rice was brought onto the Broncos as a part owner, and prior to that, Condoleezza Rice was on the board for was it the Pac-12? Was the Pac-12 or was it the
I think it was something
no
else, but
no the BCS Playoff Committee?
there it goes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so and she was somebody that a lot of people, along with Amy Trask, was saying should be considered for the next commissioner of the National Football League because of their extensive knowledge in the game and what they can bring to the game. I'm all for it. I love Condoleezza Rice. I hate that she's a Bronco now because now I have to root against her and I can't go to Walmart anymore because I'm not going to support the Walton family and I will not go to Walmart. Here's my pick. Go to Target, everybody. You're going to pay a little bit more money.
Yeah.
But it's going to be cleaner. It's going to be nicer. And you're not supporting the Denver Donkeys. Okay. Just my PSA right there. Friendly PSA. These views are not supported by Blue Wire Podcasts, by any of my affiliates. These are expressly my own. I have to say that's a disclaimer, but whatever. Screw the Broncos. Okay. Anyways, Heidi, we talk about July and obviously what's coming up in July with training camp. But I know you got a lot going on. So what's popping? What's good?
Yeah, so I've got right now the podcast. I was able to speak yesterday with Guy Fieri, the mayor of Flavortown, and a huge, gigantic Raider fan. So we talked a little bit about the team, some of the changes, things he's looking forward to. I'm going to drop that on my next podcast. It's also on Blue Wire with the Takeaways edition, Vegas Nation. And then I have the radio show every day, 7 a.m., 10 a.m., Monday through Friday, Raider Nation Radio, 9:20 a.m. in Vegas, or on the Raiders app. Click the radio tab. And then I also have a preview coming out with one of our columnists, Sam Gordon. He and I break down what we're looking forward to most in training camp. So want to check that out on vegasnation.com.
So I don't want to take too much away from your article coming out, but there's a lot that we're looking forward to in training camp. Yeah. Who is somebody that you have as a dark horse candidate?
Oh, that's a good one. I tend to usually go defense on these things, but this time I'm going offense, and I'm taking Keelan Cole. I just think that they need a guy in the offense right now that can bring some speed, take some of the tops off of the defenses, and really get in there when they need a clutch play and have somebody outside of that core group that everyone's anticipating to do big things. And you said dark horse, so that's who I'm thinking could be the guy in these dark horse type moments that will pull the sword out of the stone.
Ooh, the Disney reference, making me miss Disney even more.
King Arthur.
And I sit there and I look up. I haven't been since January. Okay. And I get Cody sending me freaking pictures every week when he goes, because he literally goes to Disneyland every week and he's like, hey, look where I'm at. I'm like, dude, stop. Like, why do you keep sending me pictures of being? He's like, well, you should be here. I'm like, you should shut the,
Do they have a season pass? Like, how does he afford that?
Yeah, he does. And we were, the crazy thing is we were just looking at getting them. And Disney stopped them in May, so I'm like, okay, well now what do I do? Like, I'm not about to pay $1,200 for the weekend to just, I will, but
it happens. We've all done it.
I will, but yeah. So we're looking at it, but back to dark horse. My dark horse is on defense. Shouldn't be a dark horse, but it is, and there's reasons behind it. Back-to-back injuries, showed flashes of being good his rookie year, showed some flashes last year, has dealt with some injuries. I think that he's somebody that if he stays healthy and really buys into Patrick Graham's defense and system, he's somebody that can excel and either be a 1 or 2 type player, and that's Trayvon Mullen. I think that Trayvon is a guy that there's still some upside there. I think that he has the ability. I think he could be one of the better corners in the league if he can just stay healthy and focus on what he needs to do. But I do think that he's going to be my dark horse guy.
I like it. It got to come back from those injuries. That's the one thing, right?
Yeah.
How he comes back.
Sure. Injuries are killer. You get injuries. Injuries are going to kill you. It's how you respond to them. Mm-hmm. Abrams, another guy that I'm looking at, guy who's, we look at the rookies, from the 2019, the 3 guys that were drafted: Josh Jacobs, Cleveland Farrell, and Jonathan Abram. And those guys all did not have their 5th-year option picked up. They all should have a chip on their shoulder. Their option wasn't picked up for various reasons. I think, Abram was more injuries. I think Klee is, he was a result of where he was drafted.
Yeah.
I don't think Klee is a bad player. I think that Klee is just a casualty of where he was drafted. And Josh is the same thing as injuries. Now, is Josh worth $8 million? If Josh can play like he did his first 2 years, then Josh is worth $8 million. So I think that those are some of the things that we look at. Look, Heidi, I know I kept you for a long time. We had to do this again. We had to look, full disclosure, everybody. Look, I'm an idiot.
Stop. I'm
gonna tell everybody. I'll tell everybody. Look, I didn't hit record the first time, so this is our second time recording it. So you're actually getting a better version because we kind of rehearsed it. It's like a walkthrough,
Yeah.
It was like the Thursday before the game, before we got on the plane to do all that. So you're getting a more polished version. But look, Heidi, I appreciate you. Tell these people where they can find you.
Oh yeah, I'm at Heidi Fang on Twitter and on Instagram, and I have a fan page that I have on Facebook that I need to refigure out how to access again because I can't. And then so Facebook, I'm not really on it that much, but yeah, you could definitely catch me on Instagram and Twitter. Cool. I'm gonna do TikTok too, some dances.
TikTok. What you gonna do on TikTok?
Start one. I don't know. I'm gonna teach the fine art of how to do some old school freestyle dances.
Okay.
I don't know.
Your music, it makes you dance.
Yeah, or something like that. I don't know. Okay. I see more along the lines of like Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock.
Rock, Planet Rock.
I don't know why I had it in my head earlier, and I was doing it to you on the first take, so now I got to do it. Joy and pain.
Sunshine. Oh, guys, give Heidi a follow. Make sure you tap into the podcast. Like I said, Vegas Nation Pod with Blue Wire. It's on every platform, so you have no excuse not to. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Pods. Make sure you write some words down, more than just words. Right. Write down something that's substantial. That's how we know that you like us. If you don't write anything, we think that we suck and that you never want to hear from us again. And we go into a corner. We don't ever want to do a podcast, and we lock ourselves into a basement. Not going to happen. So make sure you do that. Make sure you give her a follow. Also, make sure you subscribe to my podcast too, because if you're not subscribed, then you guys should shoot yourself in the foot. Anyways, Heidi, thank you. Look forward to seeing you this season. And until then, go Raiders.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for having me.